Sometimes, the best games aren't the ones in the spotlight. These underrated gems prove that the best games don't always make the headlines. Let's take a look at 12 incredible games that really didn't get the attention they deserved. Enslaved Odyssey to the West is one of those games that makes you wonder how it flew under the radar. Released in 2010, this post-apocalyptic action-adventure combines gripping storytelling with visuals that still hold up today. You take on the role of Monkey, a rugged, acrobatic fighter forced to help Trip, a tech-savvy woman trying to find her way home. The twist? Trip fits Monkey with a slave headband that forces him to protect her, and if you fail, you die. This dynamic adds tension, humor, and surprisingly heartfelt moments. The gameplay is a mix of cinematic platforming and combat. Leaping across ruined skyscrapers and smashing robots feels smooth, though combat can lean a little simplistic. But where Enslaved truly shines is in its storytelling. Co-written by Alex Garland, the writer and director of Ex Machina, the narrative is rich with emotion, and Andy Serkis's performance as Monkey brings incredible depth to the character. I wasn't expecting much going in, but Enslaved completely won me over. It's visually stunning, packed with emotional weight, and criminally overlooked. If you missed it, do yourself a favor and give it a shot. It's a hidden gem in every sense. At first glance, Spec Ops: The Line seems like just another military shooter. You know, lots of bullets, explosions, and tough guys barking orders. But don't let the generic cover fool you. Beneath that exterior lies one of gaming's most thought-provoking narratives. You'll be playing as Captain Walker, leading your squad into a sandstorm-ravaged Dubai on what should be a simple rescue mission. Spoiler alert, it's not simple, and it's definitely not a rescue. As the mission spirals out of control, so does Walker's grip on reality. Every choice you make digs the hole deeper. It's like a group therapy session, except no one leaves feeling better. The gameplay is solid enough, standard third-person shooting, but that's just the bait. The real gut punch comes from the story, which rips apart the glorified heroism of war games. Inspired by Heart of Darkness, it delivers jaw-dropping moments that will make you pause and think, wait, am I the bad guy? If you're looking for a feel-good war story, you'll need to look elsewhere. But if you want a game that forces you to confront some hard truths, this one will stick with you, whether you like it or not. If you've ever wondered what would happen if Devil May Cry and Sekiro had a stylish, action-packed baby, let me introduce you to Bloody Spell. Developed by Elong Games and released in early access in 2019, this indie gem is a martial arts hack and slash that deserves way more attention than it gets. The story isn't the game's strongest suit, it's serviceable at best. But let's be honest, you're not here for an epic narrative. You're here for the combat, and maybe some other things, if you get what I mean. Bloody Spell delivers some of the slickest, most satisfying swordplay I've seen in an indie title. But hey, you know what else is satisfying? You hitting that subscribe button. Fast-paced combos, smooth dodging mechanics, and a variety of weapons let you experiment with different playstyles. The enemies are gruesome, the environment's eerie, and the bosses, brutal in the best way possible. What sets this game apart is its sheer fluidity and style. Every fight feels rewarding, and the addictive combat flow keeps you coming back for more. I went in with no expectations and came out completely hooked. You know that feeling when you stumble across a game that looks like it was pulled straight from the mind of an epic fantasy enthusiast? That's Atlas Fallen. Released in 2023, this action RPG from Deck 13 Interactive might not have been a blockbuster, but it absolutely deserves more love. Set in a vast, sand-covered world, you play as a customizable hero wielding a magical gauntlet that morphs into weapons mid-fight. Blending God of War's intensity with Prince of Persia's traversal, the action is smooth and chaotic. And gliding across dunes at high speed, surprisingly satisfying. The world is stunning, filled with towering ruins and colossal monsters that scream epic. Sure, the story, your standard rebellion against a God King tale, isn't groundbreaking, but it's engaging enough to keep you hooked. I'll admit, I was skeptical. The trailers were flashy, but could the gameplay deliver? Thankfully, it did. Atlas Fallen may not rewrite RPG rules, but it's a fun adventure with jaw-dropping visuals and thrilling combat.
Another anvil. There, beneath that rock formation.
Okay, Bullet. Let's find this kid.
Blair Witch takes the dread of the cult classic film and amplifies it into an interactive nightmare. Set in the infamous Black Hills Forest, this psychological horror game traps you in a world where every shadow feels alive. You play as Elex, a former cop searching for a missing boy, accompanied by your loyal dog, Bullet. Bullet isn't just a companion. He's your lifeline when the darkness starts closing in. Trust me, you'll rely on him more than you think. The gameplay combines exploration, puzzles, and survival elements. But the real standout is the atmosphere. Every distant noise and shifting shadow keeps you on edge. Add in the camcorder mechanic, which lets you manipulate time to uncover chilling clues, and the tension cranks even higher. What really captured my attention was how Ellis's inner demons weave into the horror. His personal struggles make the supernatural terror hit even harder. If you're a fan of slow burn scares or the original movie, Blair Witch is a spine-chilling experience that stays with you. Just maybe keep the lights on for this one. Prey sneaks up on you with an unforgettable sci-fi experience that's both atmospheric and unsettling. Arcane Studios blends psychological horror, immersive sim mechanics, and open-ended exploration into a gripping narrative. Meet Morgan Yu, a scientist aboard the space station Talos 1, where an experiment with the Typhon, a terrifying species capable of mimicking everyday objects, has gone horribly wrong. As someone directly involved in the research, Morgan's connection to the Typhon runs deeper than mere survival. You'll grapple with their powers, uncover the secrets behind their origins, and decide whether humanity's use of their abilities is a gift or a curse. After encountering a killer coffee mug, you'll never look at your desk the same way. Whether sneaking past enemies, blasting them with weapons, or using alien powers to fight fire with fire, the game adapts to your playstyle. Meticulously designed levels reward curiosity, offering secrets and lore that deepen the story. The tension is relentless, with every room holding both opportunity and danger. Blacktail is like stepping into a dark fairy tale where every choice shapes your story. This first-person action adventure reimagines the origin of Baba Yaga, casting you as Yaga, a young woman accused of witchcraft and exiled from her village. The morality system is where the game shines. Your choices directly affect your abilities and how the world perceives you. Will you help lost souls find peace or destroy them for personal gain? The decision is yours, and it adds layers of replayability. Combat is quick and tactical, centered around a bow and arrow. Crafting arrows, potions, and traps adds a survival twist, while the haunting world, filled with eerie forests and mythical creatures, draws you in completely. What surprised me most was the emotional depth of Blacktail. Beneath its grim exterior lies a heartfelt tale of identity and self-discovery. If you're into folklore-inspired adventures with a dark edge, this is a must-play. Elex is one of those rough diamonds, flawed but full of potential, if you give it a chance. Developed by Piranha Bytes, the creators of Gothic and Risen, it's an ambitious RPG, set in a post-apocalyptic world where magic and technology collide. You'll be experiencing this story through Jax, a former commander betrayed by his own faction and left for dead. Stripped of power, you navigate a brutal open world teeming with warring factions, strange creatures, and meaningful choices. Every decision shapes your alliances and the world's reaction to you, making it feel refreshingly impactful. The combat is where Elex gets polarizing, but as you find better gear and master the mechanics, it becomes rewarding. The world design stands out, a mix of futuristic tech and medieval aesthetics that feels both unique and alive. Elex isn't for everyone, but if you enjoy deep, systems-driven RPGs and can look past its rough edges, it's well worth exploring.
About the side effects of Elex.
Yeah?
That dumb bird is the last thing I want to hear after partying with Dionysus.
Immortals Fenyx Rising takes Greek mythology and gives it a colorful, humorous twist. With gods, monsters, and a playful tone, this action-adventure doesn't take itself too seriously, but it delivers in all the right ways. You play as Fenyx, a mortal tasked with saving the gods after they're stripped of their powers by Typhon. Narrated by the bickering Zeus and Prometheus, the story is full of humor and charm that keeps you smiling throughout. The open world is a vibrant playground filled with puzzles, challenges, and stunning views that tempt you off the main path. Combat is fast, fluid, and packed with godly powers, from mid-air combos to mythical abilities, keeping the action fresh and epic. I expected lighthearted fun, but Immortals surprised me with its creativity and addictive gameplay. Tales of Arise takes the classic Tales formula and launches it into modern RPG greatness. This entry feels like a bold leap forward, and I honestly believe it's one of the coolest RPGs we've seen in years. The story follows Alphen, a masked swordsman who can't feel pain, and Cheyenne, a gun-wielding warrior cursed to harm anyone who touches her. Together, they lead a rebellion against the oppressive Renans, who have enslaved their home planet. The bond between Alphen and Cheyenne is the heart of the story, delivering moments of surprising emotional depth. The combat, though, is where Tales of Arise really starts to impress. It's fast, explosive, and rewards chaining combos with powerful artes that feel as good to execute as they look. The boss battles? Absolutely epic. With each party member offering unique skills, every fight stays fresh and dynamic. Visually, this game is outstanding. The painterly art style brings the world to life. Combined with a memorable soundtrack, it creates an immersive experience that'll keep you glued to your screen.
Is still in coma. Cannot determine if she's infected.
The Surge 2 combines sci-fi and Souls-like mechanics into an intense, limb-severing RPG. Deck 13's follow-up to The Surge improves on everything that made the original stand out. The story, set in a dystopian world of rogue machines and crazed humans, is serviceable, but the gameplay is the star. Fast, visceral, and tactical, combat lets you target specific limbs to dismember enemies and gain gear. It's not just satisfying, it's strategic. The freedom to experiment with builds is a highlight. Whether dual wielding for speed or stacking heavy armor to tank heavy hits, the customization is rewarding. The interconnected world design, packed with secrets and shortcuts, keeps exploration engaging. I didn't expect to enjoy this one as much as I did, but its addictive combat and clever progression won me over. If you're up for a challenge, this sci-fi Souls-like is worth every second. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is what happens when an epic fantasy novel gets turned into an RPG by a dream team of creative legends. With fantasy author R.A. Salvatore writing the lore, Todd McFarlane handling the art, and Ken Rolston, known for Oblivion and Morrowind leading design, this game was primed to be a hit. But while it didn't make waves at launch, thanks to the collapse of 38 studios, it has quietly earned cult status over the years. You play as the Fateless One, a resurrected hero unbound by destiny, giving you the freedom to carve your own path in this vast, colorful world. The flexible class system lets you mix stealth, sorcery, and brute strength, creating a playstyle that feels uniquely yours. Combat is surprisingly fluid and action-packed, with combos, magic, and an arsenal of weapons that make every fight satisfying. Sure, it's not flawless, but Kingdoms of Amalur is the kind of RPG that sticks with you. If you missed it, the remastered Re-Reckoning is the perfect excuse to finally experience this underappreciated gem.